then on Ken, a educative segment. Now make educative segments. Now me person and they call the coaching world. Now you call the coaching world. I mean, you see teams be a case study. Eddie Akele, near air course na as to fictional with why coaches need time to make their style work in a particular team. Now, your shares are case study teams now. It would be Barcelona, Hansi Flick, Chelsea, Enzo Maresca, Liverpool, Ancelotti, and FC Bayern Munich with Vincent Kompany. Now, if coaches being here time, I'm almost start work here, then it means to say there are certain concepts I will say yeah fans yet here in order to get that patient for the coaches to deliver for us. Now, Sammy, but my first graphic no now your fan starting presentation I will Emma your viewers because me person me say embre cra. Now, you started the presentation now Ken. Your friend BB tactical periodization. Now, tactical periodization, we have two matrices of tactical periodization. The first metrics, the conceptual metric. Then we have the training metric. Now, with the training metric, it deals with methodologies, principles. If you care about conceptual metric, it deals with the playing idea of the coach. Now, you're going to the second slide because and then with the second slide, it talks about the conceptual metrics. And if you want to understand the conceptual metric now, you need to understand the game model. Your game model now, it has external factors that are affecting coach the idea or person or the back into the team in order to get the team ready to play a particular match for that particular season. Now, that external factors, it deals with even the playing idea of the coach. Then it comes down to the quality of players now team at hand. And then or more expect to say as transfers. Then we come down to the context of the situation of the club. Being it say if the club is in the relegation battle, and as a club or play for top 4, and as a club is under reconstruction, and then you have a rebuilding process, or we can talk about the history of the club. History of the club is the club a winning club, and as a club they just buy players and sell players. You need to consider that under the game model too as well. Then you come down to the football culture of that particular team. Now, you got the third slide. The third slide will give us a deep insight of what actually the game model is about. Now, under the game model, we have 3 concepts, and that's 3 concepts. The first one is the 4 movements of the game. With the 4 movements of the game, we have the attacking organization, we have the defensive organization, we have the attacking transition, we have the defensive transition, and then making the 4 movements of the game. Now, the second one I will do under the game model, and the organization of the principle of the game model. And there were 2 principles. We have the defensive principles and the attacking principle. Thing there you see. Now, with the third one under the game model, and we will come back to it and understand why in depthly coaches need time for a team to gel. And that's one I opinion aside. We call it the skills of the team. Viewers will come back to it. Now, you got the next slide, and the next slide will actually teach us the methodological principles of the game. With the methodological principles of the game, the problem now Chelsea facing under Enzo Maresca. Now, under the methodological principle, we have something called the principle of specificity. Senior coach, a person the team, game, and only a friend the principle of specificity. Under the principle of specificity, are 3 concepts. One is the principle of propensity. Principle of propensity means how a coach every training boys to get the specific way or person boys on the field of play. Then we come to the next one, which is the principle of horizontal alteration and specificity. And only another topic for another day. But this is where Chelsea issue which is the principle of complex progression. If Chelsea started to build up from a chair, no one will see a press air complexer. They can't progress in a complex way. This is where Chelsea issue in Enzo Maresca needs to solve it. Now, let's go to the next slide. This is where we come back to the skill of the team. Nana me Eka said we'll come back to it. So let's talk about the skill of the team. This is where France we have a different view. coaches know a different view, and the technical body of the team also have a different view. Now, if you are talking about the skills of the team, the first one is the collective skill. You kind of collective skill now, and then you pundits, any normal football lovers. No, maybe we don't have the third eye in football. No, we see, which is the 11v11 of the particular team. No, into no na that team bueno. So in this case, no, Enzo Maresca adapt a 4-3-3 shape. So this is how we see the game, 11 versus 11. So that is the collective side of the game. So the collective side of the game involves the whole team or the lines of the team. The kind of lines of the team are, we have the defensive line, we have the midfield line, and we have the attacking line. So we have 3 lines of a particular team. You have the next one, fast forward, and the next one will also teach us another thing, the interceptorial skill. When we talk of the interceptorial skill now, it is usually involves the relationship between 2 lines. Once I'm actually say there were 3 lines, the defensive lines, the midfield lines, and the attacking line. So this is where the relationships into football. Now, if you are connecting 2 lines and only a friend of the interceptorial skill, maybe you need to have the connection between your midfield lines and your attacking lines. If you don't have that connection, it means to say midfield lines no mean creative chances and my attackers no. So that is one factor, and as one sector we also consider under the skills of the team. Then you can also talk about the defensive shape, and I said the defensive lines and the relationship between their midfield lines. And on Ube say midfielders no work hand in hand with the defense lines no to move the ball from the build-up phase and connect the attacking lines no. Let's move on to the next one, which is the sectorial skill. When we talk of the sectorial skill, and we have the defensive line, we have the midfield lines, then we have that of the attacking lines. With that one, it involves only one line of team. So, for example, the defense, the midfield, and the forward lines, they work in a section form. Then we come to the last one, which is the group section, and that group skill, it is called this is where players play close to each other. Pachometi has said no. This is where players play close to each other, but can be of different lines. So maybe we share FC Barcelona. Dani Olmo. Why is Dani Olmo coming into this number 10 slot for Team Barcelona? Because Lewandowski is a striker or breeding off a space locator. So if you want to connect the midfield lines with relationship and factor now, you need a space locator behind Lewandowski for him to create for the team or score for the team. So this is where the group relationship or the group skill of the team coming into place. So first today we are actually opening our third eye to understand why coaches need time to implement their style of play. So with this, a typical example is a center backs and defensive midfielders working together. So we will say a DM now dropping in between the 2 center backs, it changing the whole dynamics. It is called the group sector of play, and I say the group skill of the team. Meaning now the dynamics of the game are but it takes time for them to gel and understand individual style of play. Then we have a typical example, wingers and fullbacks. If wingers a movie inside, and fullbacks will say movie outside. If fullbacks movie inside, the wingers have to stay wide. Dynamics of the game, but we fans we don't understand it. So today we are learning the skills and we are in the coaching world to understand why our coaches know any time to actually implement their play. Then we have attacking midfielders and forwards. Typical example, Dani Olmo, Lewandowski, Senior Messi, him coming in as a Mezzala Sinistra, ever complementing Lewandowski and the other attacking players to get the best out of the team. Then we come to the last one, then we are done with our analysis of the day, which is the individual skill. This is where Nkofu criticize players a lot. With the individual play, it is about one specific player of the team. So this is where the individual quality of the player is showcasing. So before you actually get to criticize a player critically, you should also understand the skills of the team. If the other subsection of the skills of the team is not working, individually things won't work. So we have Raheem Sterling against I think Club America. He performed really, really well. Why? Because there was a Grisby Hall or complemented as a Mezzala Sinistra on the wide play. Mudrik is not performing well for Chelsea because maybe the relationship ni obi obe partner no. If Mudrik cuts in, obi here fullback obi overlap no. Sanyo Mary are subsections of the game. We the fans we don't understand. So today, and no need welcome the skills of the team. Any senior, and I said the reason Intia coach is in here time to settle in a particular club. So before I will be criticizing Hansi Flick saying you might be enquiry at Barcelona, no, you need to consider this. Before I will be criticizing Enzo Maresca, no, you need to consider this. So if the board is giving the players 8 years, 7 years, 5 years, 6 years, it is because relationship aspects, no, they need to understand themselves before things will work out for them. So coaches need time